Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekend update. We are doing a Zoom today because our staff has worked so hard, Justin, on trying to get the studio put back together from the award ceremony yesterday, but also that video up to you guys today to watch of the whole ceremony. And just what an award ceremony it was. I'm just so thankful for just an amazing year we had at Samson, but just the love of the room yesterday, all the hard work that went into it from our staff, all the great sharing, all the great camaraderie that went on in a room with so many fantastic realtors. So if you were there, great. Thank you for sharing in that day. If I wish I could invite all 6,000 people, but we are limited by the size of the room. So I'm very sorry if you couldn't make it. I'd encourage you to go watch the video, see all the great things, and work to hopefully get in that room next year with us. But I'm just so thankful for all the hard work and all we've grown in so many ways. So we're gonna have to deal with this weekend update in Zoom. But let's dive into it here and see what all the great things that we can uncover from everything that's gone on at Samson in the last week and everything that we have to look forward to next week. So February 21st, like we talked about here, let's dive into as soon as I can figure out how to advance it. First, we're gonna do our weekly market reports. So this is key because we've had a lot of people out there saying, hey, there's all these homes going on the market and there's all these new listings. All right, let me debunk all that. First and foremost, all right, this is the Washington, D.C. area, including Arlington, where we saw that Zillow thing go up there. Everybody's gone on the market at the same time, that meme going around. This week, we had 7% less showings than a week ago. We had 6% less contracts than a week ago. We had 4.7% less listings than a week ago go on the market this week, and 4% less listings than went on the market this same week last year. So you tell me that stat right there, 1,107 listings went on the market this week. Well, 5% less than the week before and 4% less than went on it this week last year. So nobody can convince me that all of a sudden there's a rush of things going on the market. That stat right there tells it all. Now, active inventory, we had 5,662 listings on the market. It's almost the exact same as a week ago. Yes, it is 20% more than were on the market at this point last year. But last year we were in record low inventories. This number has been anywhere from 20 to 25 to 30 to 35% over year-over-year numbers for the last 6 months. This is actually probably the lowest it's been in a while. So our inventory is actually shrinking, not getting bigger. So and I heard dozens and dozens of stories about people, multiple bids and paying over list price. If you go back and watch our sales meeting, every story, there were no stories about houses sitting. Every story was 5, 8, 12 contracts in on a property. So we are definitely not in a market right now that is getting flooded by listings. And these stats, this chart right here with the biggest amount of data is the number one thing that I would show people when it came to that. All right, so North Central Virginia, very similar stuff, down 6% in showings, 20% less than a year ago, 12% less contracts than last week. So these are not great signs for the real estate market, but definitely not an overflooding of inventory. New listings, 8% less than a week ago, 6.6% less than at this point last year. Our active inventory is up 28% over what was on the market last year. But again, this has been a number that's been between 25 and 30 most weeks. So nothing shocking on this one. Baltimore metro area, down 17% in showings from a year ago at this time, down 5% from last week. Contracts down 10% from a year ago at this time, down 4% from last week. New listings down 10% from last year, down 2% from a week ago. All these jives across all three networks that we've looked at, or areas we've looked at so far, down 16%, we have 16% more active listings than we had at this point last year. But again, that's, exactly what we've been looking at every week that we've been doing this for the last 6 months. And almost exactly the same amount of active listings that we had a week ago at this time. Our last one, Maryland, West Virginia, Panhandle. Remember, this is our smallest subset, and actually the furthest one removed from that DC kind of area and market. We had 10% more showings this week than the week before, 16% more contracts than last week. So lots of good positive signs in this region. 14% less listings, though. Again, that's 147 listings. So we're talking about, 19 less listings than last week. So not a big deal in there. Our active inventory, 1,321, 19% more than last year at this exact time, down 2% year over year. So very similar numbers overall. to what we're looking at across the board. A little bit of positivity in the Maryland, West Virginia, and Panhandle area. So last week's rock stars, our top producers for the week in volume. John McCambridge, number 1 in the company. Great job, Johnny. Number 2, Susan McClanahan. Number 3, Nicholas Davari. Number 4, Adam Shively, who took home 6 big plaques yesterday. Crushed it, Adam. Great job. And then number 5, the great Peggy Oremland. Great job to our top 5 in volume last week. Our top 5 in transactions, April Caldwell. Great job. John McCambridge, number 2. Adam Shively, number 3. Dilyara Daminova, who got number 1 in transactions, number 1 in volume in the whole company for the year last year, or individual agents. Great job. Number 4 for the week, and Carolyn Burnett out of West Virginia, number 5. Great job to our top 5. Our top teams in volume last week, One Street Company. Way to go, One Street Company. Great job. Carolyn Young team, number 2. Ideal Homes, led by Allie D, number 3. Shepherd Homes Group, number 4. And Fox Homes team, number 5. Awesome stuff. Some fantastic teams in there. Top 5 teams in transactions for the week. One Street Company, number 1. Carolyn Young team, number 2. Jamil Brothers Realty Group, number 3. Oh, and I'm hitting too many buttons. The Monumental Group, Austin and Roxanne Southern, number 4. And Shepherd Homes Group, number 5 in transactions. Amazing job. Great teams, great individuals. Fantastic week overall. We talked about Samson Awards show. Just a great time yesterday. Some great pictures from yesterday's event. Some of our award winners and some of the great recipients and all the fun that was had yesterday. Thank you to all of our great sponsors, our corporate sponsors that helped yesterday happen. Help pay for some of that bill. It was that food and drink bill. Westfield's Marriott gets up there. I don't want to see the final number. Hopefully Chris just signed it. It never tells me. But we had a great time. If you're logged on today or you want to log in later, we did launch that. The video went up today. You can watch that anytime at SamsonAwards.com or on YouTube. You can download all the photos and graphics for Gold and Platinum and Diamond Club as well. Post those on your social. Post them all over. A lot of photos from yesterday's event as well if you want some of the events, the pictures that you didn't get on your own cell phone. Thank you for a great sales meeting on Wednesday. We've had a busy week. We had 159 agents join us in January. 159. 351 Cardinal closings. We went over January top performers. All those are separate videos. We had a great sales meeting. Tonga Turner came in, did a great job talking about 5 pillars to make your business successful. Elizabeth Klein came in, talked a lot about the psychology of sales. Some great tips from 2 of our great realtors here at Samson. 2 of our top 10 realtors in all the awards yesterday, and dropped some great tips for everybody. So you can watch that on the Cardinal Nest on YouTube or in the email. We sent out that video as well. Join the conversation March 19th. Will be our next company-wide sales meeting at 9 a.m. I'd encourage you to jump in there. You can always watch it later, but when you're there on live, you can join in that conversation. We love you to get on and chit chat, answer the questions, or to come into the chat. We had some great chats going on, great chat questions, great chat back and forth. So I'd encourage you to do that as well. We've got a big announcement. One of our fantastic, he leads our best team here at our most highly successful team. They sold 540 homes last year. The Shepherd Homes Group. Jason is phenomenal. He's also a great teacher and great speaker. He's going to do a class for us, Business Mastery Roadmap with Jason Shepardek. Who would want to be at that? March 11th, 12 to 3 p.m. We're going to be at the penthouse in the First Heritage Building. So Germantown Road there. Penthouse is the top floor. We're limited to about 80 seats. So you want to get onto the Cardinal Nest and you want to RSVP for this one quick. If you're going to RSVP, come, okay? Because we don't want you to take up a seat or reserve a seat and then not use it. But this is going to be a fantastic class by Jason. Excited for him to do this. So thank you to Jason. They were the number 1 Samson mega team, sold a ton of homes, and he just does a great job building up his team and really good at systems and organization. He's going to help you with that roadmap to success here. If you're an NVAR member, which is a lot of us, the CEO, Ryan McLaughlin, is going to come by our studio Thursday, March 13th at 10 a.m. I would encourage you to come to that meeting. He's going to talk a lot about NVAR issues, contracts, updates on a lot of different things going on a lot of different fronts. So we're blessed to have Ryan come into our own office, have a great meeting just with our agents. So I encourage you to stop by there if you're an NVR member. We've got lots of great lunch and learns coming up all over the place. Typically 3 a week, typically Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, somewhere almost every week. So I'd encourage you to get out to one of these lunch and learns. Invite a friend. Remember, you get recruiting rewards for bringing them out to a lunch and learn. Let us do all the talking, and hopefully bring them to join Samson. You can also direct your referral to joinsamson.com. They can watch the video, or they can set up a one-on-one with somebody on our recruiting team staff here. All those 4 ugly mugs and Mark on our recruiting team that can talk to you. Our recent contract ends with Cardinal. So we want to thank you for Cardinal Title Group putting all these together. This was out of 129 contracts submitted last week. I love to look at the blue first, the blue on the 2 graphs. So days on market in West Virginia, 29% were under contract in less than 7 days, 30% went above list price. In Virginia, 45% in the first 7 days, 35% over list price. Maryland, D.C., 32% got a contract in the first 7 days, 21% over list price. So very transitive in those numbers. The whites are about the same, top to top. The blacks are about the same. So if you're going to be in that 8 to 21 days, you end up around list price. You want to list longer than 21 days, you almost always end up below list price, almost 100% of the time. So something to keep in mind. You only get one chance to price that property correctly. Almost all financing this week in our contracts, seller subsidy. West Virginia, a third of them got in. Virginia, Maryland, D.C., about a fourth of them got a seller subsidy as part of it. I'd venture to say the ones that are on the market over 21 days, almost on all of those. On our contingencies, most people got a financing in Maryland, D.C., and West Virginia, about 2/3 in Virginia. Appraisal contingencies, about 2/3 in Virginia. Almost everybody in Maryland, D.C., and West Virginia. Home inspection, everybody in West Virginia, almost everybody in Maryland, D.C., and about half and half in Virginia. So it's interesting that they are quicker to negotiate out the home inspection, it appears, in these Virginia contracts. The last one I like to look at is the buyer rep. Look at that. I love that's the best summer we've had yet. 99% of contracts included the buyer agency in the contract paid for by the seller, and 99% of those were 2% or higher. Fantastic numbers. People are getting paid, and they're getting paid 2.5%, 3% at least in every contract. So I love that. Classes and education coming up next week. Tuesday, 10 to 11, we've got our Samson Plus coaching, our free class with Lisa Fry, who's just crushing it in coaching. She's had so many great people. She's got a wait list to coach with Lisa, from what I understand. But creating a business with boundaries is what her class is all about. So tune in Tuesday at 10 o'clock for that. Tuesday at 10 o'clock as well, if you're near the Silver Spring office, Lynn's going to teach seller consultations and selling your value with Lynn Hamilton. Great class. She's been taking this all over the place. She had a packed house at Bowie last week. I saw that for sure. Wednesday, we're going to be in Stafford for HQ2U. So great classes throughout the day. You've got Lynn, Sarah and I do a business building. Cardinal's going to participate in a business planning class with David. We're full of the ins and outs of new construction with Courtney Corkindale, who's done a ton of new construction in her career, on the other end. So great stuff, and then some print center classes. So fantastic day of learning in Stafford. After the Stafford one, coming up in March, we've got, easy for me to do. Coming up in March, we've got DC Noma, we've got Columbia, and Alexandria coming up as HQ2Us as well. So I'd encourage you to go to those HQ2Us. They're a great day of learning. All you got to do is be able to drive there. You don't have to belong to that office, but if you can drive there, it'll be a great day of learning and camaraderie with your fellow Samsonites. Coffee with Casey's back next Thursday. Casey will be back in town. He's going to teach a great class in the studio Thursday, 10:30 to 11:30. If I was an agent out there wanting to be successful, and I had top realtors like Jason and Casey and all these other people teaching classes, I would be there. Free opportunities to learn from the best of the best in this industry. So thank you, Casey, for teaching that. Coffee with Casey again next week. Jumpstart Session 1. Remember, you can always go to the Cardinal Nest. Lynn's got her classes up there that you can dial into. The full schedule for next week. Weekly boost with Lynn to start the week. Print marketing class, 3 o'clock. Group coaching, we talked about Lisa Fry, creating business with boundary. Silver Spring, you got Lynn doing the sell your value class. A tax class for realtors in Waldorf Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Good stuff. Sky Slope training. HQ2U all day and Wednesday in Stafford. Mastermind Thursday morning, $0 to $2 million group. You got Coffee with Casey in the studio, 10:30 to 11:30. A Learning Trails class with Q&A class with Lynn, Thursday 1 to 2. And then she has your Master Your Marketing class, 2:30 to 3:30. Those are Zoom classes on Thursday. Friday morning, Fast Track Commercial Training with Aladdin. Great stuff. MVR Residential Contract Training with Wendy. Friday, 10 to 11 o'clock. I encourage you to jump in there, go over any MVR contract questions you have with Wendy Dean, one of our fantastic brokers. Friday, Financing with First Heritage, Friday at 10 o'clock. Then Sky Slope class, Friday at 11 o'clock. encourage you, if you're newer to us, go to that Cardinal Nest, or maybe you haven't reconnected in a while, go to the Cardinal Nest, go to the calendar. We've got orientations almost every day that you can join into all over our footprint that you can be a part of. Just this great thing, just to remind you of all the great classes, all the great things we have going on, Selling Your Value, Jared James, 7-Figure Realtor, HQU, Samson University, all these great things, Samson Plus Coaching, Jumpstart, just so many great learning opportunities here at Samson. I would encourage you to jump in there with 2 feet if you want to continue to improve. For us, I just want to say continue to thank you for all your support of Cardinal Title Group. We're kind of through that winter market. Hopefully, we're starting to get into that spring market, getting closer and closer every week. I'd encourage you to do your best to price your listings appropriately, get them to sell, you get those multiple contracts. Whenever you get a chance on the buy side or the list side, please try to get Cardinal Title Group in there. We will take great care of you, and you get paid quicker, and you get to close and get the home court advantage in any of our offices to get to close at. Not a lot going on for me this weekend. Try to rest after a big week of sales meetings and award shows and all the other great stuff. But I'm very thankful for our amazing growth at Samson. Looking forward to a great rest of February and a great spring market. So thank you everybody out there for all you do. And we will see you next week in Stafford at HQU. Take care.